11th edition of Talks India, taking place on 15th November 2025 at 10:30 a.m. at the Great Hall, CMS College, Kottayam. This special edition features Padma Shri, Her Highness Princess Aswathy Thirunal Gowri Lakshmi Bayi as our esteemed keynote speaker. Her address on the theme Kaleidoscope of Royal Hues, Princess Gowri Lakshmi Bayi and the Legacy of Travancore Royalty will offer profound insights into Kerala's rich cultural heritage and the timeless traditions of the Travancore royal family. Her Highness Princess Gowri Lakshmi Bai's Padma Shri Award is a reflection of her lifelong dedication to preserve Kerala's cultural legacy, and we are honored to have her share her knowledge and wisdom with us. Organized by the Mulamoottil Achen Foundation in association with CMS College, Kottayam, this event promises to be an inspiring celebration of thought, culture, and creativity. We extend a warm invitation to all students, educators, and members of the public to join us for this enriching and insightful occasion.
All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. Each little flower that opens, each little bird that sings, God made the glowing colors and made the tiny wings. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all.
I invite Dr. Anju Shoshan George, Principal of CMS College, Kottayam. Ma'am, please.
Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to CMS College. Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Tamburati, Reverend Father Abraham Mulamoottil, Sudesh Kurup Sir, KM George Achen, Bursa Shiju Achen, Vice Principal Dr. Reenu Jacob, dignitaries, visitors, students from school, let me welcome you officially once again back to another session of Talks India and once again back to CMS College. I'm sure we are all looking forward to listening to Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Tamburati. From CMS College, we are deeply indebted to the Travancore royal family because, as Achen said briefly, 200 years back, 1814, it was Maharani Gowri Lakshmi Bayi who gave this is according to our records, maybe you will have a different story, ma'am. But from our records, 16 acres of land was given to the college, to Colonel Munro. Also, we had the permission to use the timbers from the royal forest to build our buildings. And I'm sure this building right where we are sitting also stands as testament to that. In addition to that, money was also given to build this institution. At that point of time, 208 years back, education was unthinkable to the common people. At that point, 208 years back, this was a caste-ridden society where education was simply out of bounds for anyone who dared to dream. It is because of the royal family that this was possible by the missionaries. And so today, the college would also want to remember whoever has gone before, who has made this possible for this 208 years of institution to stand, to thrive, and be a light here in the land of Kottayam, not just in Kottayam, in Kerala too. Ma'am, it's an honor and a privilege to have you back here with us. Thank you from all of us here at CMS College, staff and the students. Thank you from the entire Kottayam public. We look forward to listening to you. Let me also formally welcome Reverend Dr. Abraham Mulamoottil. This particular session is Talks India session number 11. Achen's critical thinking and the need to instill critical thinking in young minds is what we listened to a while back. This same inspiration has made him work day in and day out to make sure the right people reach the right audience. Today, in a world where intelligence is artificial, today, in a world where information crams our senses, we have a floodgate of information pouring into our mobile phones. Where do we sit, think, pause, breathe in, and critically digest and dissect all of these information that comes to us? I'm hoping that sessions like these are the perfect introduction where we can sit and think of what we have in our hands and what we are flooded with. Welcome once again, everybody. I see a lot of dignitaries on the floor. Thank you for taking this time back. Let me also connect with the morning's 1 hour of silent reading, which was instituted for the sole purpose of bringing reading back to campuses, bringing reading back to Kottayam. I'm sure we at CMS have a wonderful day here, and I'm hoping that you, whoever was there from the morning, who were a part of both of these events, also have a very fruitful day. Thank you everybody for coming in today. I'm sure we'll all have a very fruitful session. Welcome once again to Talks India and welcome once again to CMS College.
Have been waiting for. It's our privilege to present today's Talks India address by Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi, who will speak on Kaleidoscope of Royal Hues, Princess Gowri Lakshmi Bayi and the legacy of Travancore royalty. Ma'am, please come forward to the stage.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, shanti, shanti. May well-being come to all on earth. May there be peace, peace, peace. Our respected Father Abraham and other dignitaries here in this audience, beloved children, a very humble namaskaram to all of you. Since the proceedings are to be in English, I will straight away go into what is the task that has been assigned to me. But before I start, I think I should take an anticipatory bail, a munkur jamyam, because what I'm going to talk about is entirely about the Travancore dynasty, going back to Marthandavarma, the maker of modern Travancore, and coming up to and including Maharaja Aswathy Thirunal. 12 rulers ruled modern Travancore. Travancore or Wayanad, there's ancient history is there, medieval history is there, modern history is there. It is a very voluminous task. And even modern history, starting with Marthandavarma, there were 12 rulers. I have just taken in order of precedence, starting with Marthandavarma himself, and after him comes Kartik Thirunal Ramavarma, Avatan Thirunal, then Rani Gowri Lakshmi Bayi, Rani Gowri Parvati Bayi, Swathi Thirunal. I am stopping there. Then there are so many others, Uttaran Thirunal, Ailan Thirunal, Vishaka Thirunal, Moolan Thirunal, Pooradu Thirunal, and my beloved uncle Sri Chitra Thirunal. It is impossible to condense and compress something which cannot be done. And if I try that, it would be just like Akshara Kolam Alli Alli, it would reach nowhere. And apart from that, it is difficult to think that all the audience sitting here are interested in history, Travancore history, and especially as Kottayam was also part of Travancore, it is a history of Kottayam also. However, to impose dates and days and names on some people who may not be interested would also be a punishment to them. I am directly dealing, now my problem is that the subject under survey, as I had said earlier, deals with my forefathers, my ancestors. Somebody or other might write in the paper that this time Talks India had so and so, and Abida Vanna Kudumba Puranam Prasangichittu Poi. Chances are very bright because that's how sometimes the reporting goes. But since the subject is very specific, I can do nothing but speak on Kudumba Puranam. What else can I do? It is on my ancestors. So I will start straight away, but I will give you one chance. If anybody thinks that I am becoming boring or that it is a waste of time, you have every liberty to put up your hand. Don't whistle, but put up your hand so that one understands it's time to stop. So with your permission, I have titled this presentation as Kaleidoscope of Royal Hues. And I have with me my dear friend, Dr. Rajendran, Professor of English, who has kindly consented to do the presentation here. I have two people who are ready to do it. Mr. Thomas is here, he was also ready. Because Mr. Rajendran was sitting with me and doing the thing, it is easier for him. So we will start with the slide number 1. Kaleidoscope of Royal Hues. When you talk on the royalty of Travancore, there is no way by which you can talk without remembering Sri Padmanabha Swami, who was and is the dynastic family and personal deity of Travancore. That is Padmanabha Swami. And now we go on to the next slide. Aniram Thirunal Marthandavarma, 1729 to 1758. He is famous as the maker of modern Travancore, or as the architect of Travancore, who consolidated Travancore to what it was till the reorganization. His all-encompassing adoration of his dynastic and personal deity, Sri Padmanabha Swami, colored all his actions. The Sri Padmanabha Swami temple in the capital city and much of the history of his period under study stand as lasting monuments of this unwavering faith. And that is the aerial view of the Padmanabha Swami temple. You will find it here. Thiruvidankura, Sri Vazhunkoda, Aishwaryam Vilayunna Nadu. All these are synonyms of Thiruvidankura. And the map of Travancore, you have seen there. And he took a number of general steps, not just stopping with the expansion of Travancore, he took a lot of steps. For instance, irrigation. In many parts of the state, man-made waterways were constructed. For example, Pandyan Kail in Nanjanad, which watered its fields, transforming the land and making it the granary of South. Already somebody has mentioned the Kolachal War. Yes, you have mentioned the Kolachal War. The Kolachal War, 1741. It is very correct what you said, a very, very important point, significant statement that very few people know about their own history. In the schools, in the syllabus does not have anything like that. The previous history is not touched upon at all. And so as such, now at times because the military has taken over the Kolachal monument, sometimes this thing comes up. Otherwise, so many things which we are so grateful to be proud possessors of. So many, all world first, all Asia first, all India first. So many things we have in our little Travancore to remember, but we forget. Anyway, the Kolachal War was in 1741 against the Dutch. Holland, which is now known as Netherlands. Captain Delanoy led the Dutch fleet and they came by sea and attacked Travancore at Kolachal. At that time, Martandavarma was very much preoccupied with so many other problems. So this was another very huge problem that came. And by the grace of God, we defeated the Dutch. And that is a slide of Delanoy kneeling before Maharaja Martandavarma and surrendering. And with that defeat, the dream of the Dutch to establish a Dutch East India Company in India came to smithers. He wanted asylum. Martandavarma Maharaja said, I have no fight with you. You may go back. You are obeying the orders of your master, you may go back. I have no fight with you. But Delanoy said, my masters are not going to be so kind to me because I go as a defeated party. Please give me asylum here and I will stay back. That was a huge risk because after all he was the leader of the army. But Martandavarma was a very shrewd judge of character and he took the risk. He said, all right, I will make you the commandant of my Travancore forces who defeated you. And yeah, the next slide. And you will find armaments which were captured, and these are all exhibited in the museum, in our museum in Thiruvananthapuram in the Kudiramalika. Now, with the capture of Delanoy, and when Martandavarma made him the commander of the army, he put one condition. He said, you go back to Missouri, to Kodungalur. Resign your army, commission in the army. You can't hold two commissions. Your Dutch army, resign and come back. And then I will take you. And he came back and he served him very well indeed. Next. This is the Kolachal Stambham, or the monument of victory, denoting the victory of Travancore over the Dutch. And I must add one thing more, that the Dutch were not just a Western power, but the most powerful maritime force in the world at that time. And this is a very beautiful monument which was very badly neglected, and finally I don't want to go into all those things. Anyway, this is the monument. When Mountbatten, the last viceroy of British India, came on a visit to Travancore, in his speech he mentioned, I'm not correctly quoting, but the gist of it I'm saying, he said that Travancore was the only state, small but powerful, to meet and successfully defeat in combat an established Western maritime power. And then he said, within brackets, he wrote his memoirs. And in the memoirs he has said this, and he said he put a bracket and he said, Thank God, not the British. Anyway, that is the Collegial War. Became President of the United States, Roosevelt. Roosevelt was a descendant of Illinois. Epitomizing the Maharaja's military acumen, he got erected a series of watchtowers in the 1740s to monitor the land and the maritime movements of the aggressors. One whole row of watchtowers. In Kanyakumari, the circular fort, the Vattakota, the mega festival in the Sri Padmanabha Swami temple of 56 days duration, known as Morajabam, prayer in cyclic motion, was initiated by the king. It was in 1747. A few years hence, the same, the fabulous Lakshadweepam, the first being in 1750 mid-January, came into being. Ecclesiastical involvement and presence was imperative. I am mentioning this very specifically with a specific reason. This huge festival takes place once in 6 years and stands tall on the religious map of India. It is relevant to add that the next Morajabam commences, that's the day Magaravadaka, Pongal, all these things are on that day, 47th since its inception. Yes, that is the view of the temple and the Morajabam. And this is the inside procession, taken from outside. Here, this particular Morajabam was the last Morajabam, and within the temple premises, there were 32,000 people witnessing the Morajabam. And the greatest homage they could pay was a homage of silence or prayer. It was many times mentioned during after Maharaja Martandavarma's time, that this Morajabam and the Lakshadweepam were all instituted because he wanted to cleanse himself from the sins of the wages of war. But that was not really correct at all. The Morajabam was and is for the well-being of the land, for the well-being of the people, and not as an atonement. Tripadidanam, 5th Magaram, latter half of January 1750. It is by this deed of dedication that he surrendered his entire kingdom, himself, all his royal insignias, everything at the feet of Bhagavan, and came to be known as Sri Padmanabha Dasa in the holistic manner. The title Sri Padmanabha Dasa is the title attached to almost every male member of the family, whether he be a king or a prince. That is a title, the most precious title. And it came there, it was in existence even before Martandavarma, but it became an official title with Tripadidanam. Here again, I am digressing for a minute to say that the term Dasa has two meanings or two interpretations. One, servant, one, slave. We prefer the second. Because if you are a servant, you can leave your master's service anytime. If you are a slave, you are forever bound to your master's feet. You have no independent existence. And here, we are bound to his feet, not in iron chains, but in silken strands of bliss. I am stopping Martandavarma now because if you keep on going on and on, it will not reach anywhere. And going on to the next, I am taking only Martandavarma, Karthika Thirunal, Avattan Thirunal, the two Ranis, and Aswathy Thirunal, 6. So this the first is over. Karthika Thirunal Ramavarma succeeded his uncle, and he ruled from 1758 to 1798. He was known as Dharma Raja. He was also known as Keravan Raja because he ruled for a very long time. And many very important things happened during his time. The war with Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan reached Periyar, put up his camp there. he wanted to conquer. His eyes were not on Cochin, which he considered as an inconvenient interruption. His eyes were on Travancore, which was more powerful and more rich. And he came and established himself in Periyar, near on the banks of Periyar. As he was coming from Mysore into Malayalam Nadu, into Malabar, from the north of Kerala, so many people, I mean the Nambudiri Brahmins, our own community, the Tamburans, then Hindus of high standing, they all fled Malabar because he was coming on a rampage. He was coming, he was destroying temples, he was breaking up idols, there was a lot of, all things were happening to the women, and there was forced conversion or death. So they fled, and as they came to, they knew they could not, Cochin could not protect them. So they came to Thiruvidankur, and most of them came, for instance, the Nambudiris, they had only in one hand their Tevara Vigrahams, in one hand their manuscripts. Like this, they left everything and they came. At that time, Kartika Thirunal was the ruler, and when he knew that a huge influx of people had come to his sands, he had them resettled so that they could live with dignity and not on charity. When Tipu Sultan came, he was very angry when he found that the cream had gone. His focus was on the so-called upper classes, and he was very angry that they were not there. He sent a message to Kartika Thirunal. One was a declaration he made, Nammude Kudire, he must have said it in Urdu or something, I don't know how he said it. Nammude Kudire, Avenda Swarna Kodimaratil Kattanam. My horse should be tethered to his gold flag mast. Kartika said, if the Sultan has such a desire, he has to come. The horse has to come for it to be tethered. He has to come to see it tethered. And then he said, Nam Nischaikyam Are Evada Kettanam Kundava. So that, but that did not happen. That did not happen. Tipu broke his leg and he fled. He had to go back to Mysore. The floods came and he had to go back. But when Tipu sent a message, he sent a message to Kartika Thirunal saying that if you send back the people who have come here, we can think in terms of a compromise. That means no need for war. War could perhaps be avoided. When a war comes, you really don't know who's going to win, who's going to lose, and so much of loss of life and property. Kartika Thirunal sent back one message. Just one message, one line. He said that it is not the tradition of Travancore to abandon those who seek her asylum. Abhayam thedi varunavare kaivediyunna parambaryam Thiruvidankoorinnu illa. So that meant war, but even then he did not send them back, and it is at that particular act of his which got him the title Dharma Rajava. He is known as Dharma Rajava, but this is the reason why he got the title Dharma Rajava. And just in passing, because there is a lot of Catholic community here, I would like to tell you that he received a letter of appreciation from the Pope, from the Vatican. The Pope was Pope Clement II. And Pope Clement II sent a letter of appreciation to Kartika Thirunal for being so dedicated to his principles. And this was brought by Father Bartholomew, who brought it to him. And so that, anyway, then the war did not happen, and so many other things are there. I don't want to go into that. That is too long. It will go on and on and on. The Maharaja's contributions to literature and performing arts was really very, very much. And huge impetus was received in both the fields. he authored a highly complicated work titled Bala Rama Bharatam. He had also written Kathakali plays of ongoing popularity. For example, the one he wrote sitting in the homestead of Mathur Panikars in Ambalappuzha. He wrote Narakasura Vatham. Like that, so many other things he has written. And he also introduced what is known as the Tekkan Chitta in Kathakali. Kathakali normally followed the Vadakkan Chitta. He was an expert in Kathakali and Kathakali literature, and he had the school of southern school formed with the help of Kaplingad Nambudiri, and that was known as Kaplingad Chitta or Tekkan Chitta. And that is continuing even now. And very big artists follow the Tekkan Chitta, also Vadakkan Chitta, but this is also very popular. Under the king, initiative was given to Mohiniyattam. It is Swathi Thirunal who really gave a huge impetus to Mohiniyattam, but in the time of Dharmaraja, it had already started, and he had entrusted to Somadri to work on it. Many new luminaries came to the court of Karthik Thirunal because by that time peace had come. Martandavarma's time was fraught with war and tension, danger, death, disaster, disloyalty. It was very bad. But Karthik Thirunal's time, the peace had come. Except Tipu's failed or abortive attempt, there was more or less peace there, and he could focus on that's a couple of years. He could focus on arts and crafts and all performing arts, literature, all those things he could. And many great people came to his place, to his court during that time, like Kunjan Nambiar, the famous satirist poet, Ramapurathu Variyar, Manorama Tambrati from Kodungalur. I mean, there were so many others. Unnai Variyar, like that, so many of them. And just taking one Ramapurathu Variyar's case, it ran like the story of Kuchela and Krishna. He was very poor when he came. He was a great literary scholar. I mean, but he was very, very poor. And after being in the court for quite some time, when he wanted to go back to his place, Maharaja said, yes, you may go back, and sent him back with all honors. But when he went, he found to his amazement that he was facing a very fine homestead, land, everything. Maharaja had constructed the homestead, and he had given land free of tax, everything to him. It was almost like a Kujela story being repeated. Some of you at least might have heard, because you are near Etmanur, some of you at least might have heard about the Edarapanana. At least 7 other, baby one is there, baby one. So like that, 7 big ones and 1 tiny one. That is Edarapanana. There is, I think, some film song which says something about Edarapanana Parathedinaldum, Etmanurappa. So at least that some people will know that these are the Edarapanana. These were offered to Etmanurappan by Martandavarma, but he was not able to do it. So after his time, Karthik Thirunal had the Edarapanana submitted, but before they were taken, he offered a real life elephant called Ananda Gopalan to Sri Padmanabha Swami temple and sent these Edarapanana. There's some of the exotic items. A very interesting anecdote about Karthik Thirunal. Everything was not cherry and cream. He also was having a very huge financial constraint in the state. The treasury was not at all in surplus. It was very difficult to pull on, and this threat of war had also taken a toll on the money, finances. He wanted to build a bridge, a stone bridge, Kilipalam bridge, stone bridge. and he had no money. That bridge is there even now in Karamana River in Thiruvananthapuram. The bridge is there, and he had no money. So he borrowed what was perhaps about 7 lakhs in Travancore money, not Indian money, Travancore money at 6% interest from a wealthy merchant in Thiruvananthapuram. So there were people who were much richer than him and the state who could, but that man also, he took it with 6% interest. But he was not willing to just depend on that, so he wanted some pledge. So the Maharaja pledged his very heavy gold waist chain, Arinyanam, as a part of the pledge, and took this money. And this Kilipalam he could have, if he wanted, taken some money from the Padmanabha Swami temple treasuries. It is for the state, but he did not. This has been what has been happening throughout, that none of the kings would touch the money in the temple, but they would sell their or recycle their personal assets. This has happened from his time up to and including my younger uncle Marthanda Varma's time. With their own personal things, they would do. So this Arinyanam was put on pledge, but he was able to take it back after a few months. And that Palam, nobody knows how it came, nobody knows. And one fine day, you will find it has been pulled down. And with that, a part of history will go into the Karamana River. When I'm talking of money, I'm just going to digress one bit. The Travancore state had its own money, from Pavan to Kasha. Pavan was the highest. It was maybe in value, it was more than the British Pavan. And the smallest was the Kasha. The Kasha was a tiny little coin made of copper, Chemba Kasha. But the people had such faith that it was a common linguistic expression to say, Padmanabhanda Punna Kasha, Alinga Padmanabhanda Chemba Kasha. For all government servants, they would say that. But anyway, this Kasha was the tiniest, the smallest minted legal tender currency in the world. With not just the size, with purchasing power. If you give 1 kasha, you will get something. What will you get even if you today pay, I don't know, except the sovereign which is going up and up and up and up and up. But the kasha had purchasing power. Now, one day, one of the Europeans was walking along the road, and these ladies sit on the sides of the road. They sell chuttandi and mattandi, and so all sorts of things they sell. So as he was walking, he heard the women calling out, "Kashina etta, uri kashina etti chuttandi kittum, uri kashina etti chuttandi, kashina etta." So he heard. He said, "Oh, that is cashew nut." And that is how cashew nut came. The term cashew nut came that way. Kashinetta, nalluka cashew nut aayittu mari. That is the etymology of cashew nut. Next comes Thirunal Balarama Varma. His reign was darkened with disquiet. Veluthambi's rise and fall also was during his time. The English East India Company, which was very powerful then, was pressing Travancore to repay an amount of money which Travancore had taken when Tipu's war was under threat. That was in the previous reign. But Maharaja Dharmaraja had passed away, and after his demise, Thirunal had come, and he was faced with this problem of repayment. And the treasury was really in a very terrible situation. Rupees 25 lakhs. One panam is rupees 7, approximately, ours rupees 7. So 25 lakhs was a debt. And the British were saying, either you pay the debt or you surrender your land, whatever it is, we want the money back. And that was really creating such a big problem. Balarama Varma did not have to think too much. He got from Padmanabhapuram Palace in sacks, tied up in sacks, they had a lot of personal jewelry. his personal jewelry tied up in sacks were brought to Thiruvananthapuram and pledged in the temple, and the money released from the temple for that. But money taken under pledge, all his ornaments were pledged there and money was given. And they had put 2 jars, Dand Bharani, in what is today known as A Kalara. Not B please, but A Kalara. A Kalara, as you go down the steps, one side, one jar, the other side, the other jar. And every month, the Maharaja would repay and put the principal amount in one jar and the interest in the other jar. And like that, in so many years, this payment went on till finally he was able to repay the whole thing and get back his jewelry. An important event was that the idol of Guruvayurappan, which was brought to Tiruvidankor in the time of Dharmaraja when Tipu was coming, for safety, that idol plus all the jewelry, silver, everything was brought and handed over, and they were all there in the Travancore soil, first in Ambalappuzha, then in Mavelikara. Guruvayurappan's idol was there, and when the peace came, all these things, including the idol, were returned to Mandasheri Tirumeni, who was the Uraima, to take back, listed, receipted, and sent back. But that was a great, event for Travancore. And now we go on to Island Thirunal Gowri Lakshmi Bayi, 1811 to 1814. I have a slight, Gowri Lakshmi Bayi, but I am making a slight correction here. The Maharani's reign witnessed sweeping enactments, like abolition of slavery and burdensome taxes, revamping the army, and so on. Very important was the prohibition of flesh trade. That was very sternly dealt with. It was not allowed. The dread or the threat of smallpox was looming high during her reign. She reigned only for about 4 years. She was very young and she passed away at the age of 24. She was brilliant, beautiful, but fates were against her, and at 24 years old, she passed away. But during her time, smallpox, it was a dread disease, and we all know how terrible it was. It was this Rani she was a niece of Avatandirunal, and it is she who insisted on getting smallpox vaccination from the West as a preventive measure for her people. Now, of course, the people are not very happy. Even with the COVID injection, we have heard so much of different opinions on the matter. So in everything, and something totally unknown. So people were frightened to take this injection, and that also from some foreign country. So she said first her own family will be injected. She herself did not take the injection because she was a smallpox survivor. So she did not take the injection. But many members of her family were the first people to take the injection, and then it was shared with the people of the state, and so many precious lives were saved. Chatta Variola, some people call it Satta Variola, was also introduced during her time. It was a Variola is the manuscripts. Chattam, that is for law, for legal background. For what should be there, it is sort of governing the legal system. It is called Chatta Variola, and to the best of my knowledge, it still continues to an extent, because now it's all India, to be the basis of the legal system here, subject to all India rules. We have an advocate here from the High Court. I think I will ask her later on. Anita is there, so I will ask her later on whether this is correct or not. But Chatta Variola definitely, and it remained in existence for a very long time. That is a very important reform during her time. She was succeeded by her younger sister, Uttratadi Thirunal Gowri Parvati Bayi, 1814 to 1829, as the regent Rani. She came to the throne unexpectedly, like her sister also. Incidentally, the reign of both the sisters is described as a golden reign of Travancore. So she came and she was only 13 when she ascended the throne, and she reigned for till Swathi Thirunal. Her nephew was just 1.5 years old when his mother died, and Swathi Thirunal, till Swathi Thirunal became 16, she ruled. That was also a very brilliant reign, 15 years, leaving an indelible imprint on the state and its fortunes. I'm just rushing through just a few of the things that she did, like promotion of education was top among the priorities. Munshis or teachers were appointed in every district, or Mandabattu Vadikal as it was called, on 7 rupees salary to teach Malayalam and Samskrita, Malayalam and Tamil, 7 rupees salary. In those days it was considered a very good salary. And then most important is that the rescript of education was introduced by her in 1817. It was Rani Gowri Bayi. A rescript on education by which compulsory grassroots level in education, state-sponsored, was introduced. I'm just quoting part of what was written there, just part. Quotation, dash, 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 shall defray the entire cost of education of its people. In order that there may be no backwardness in the spread of enlightenment among them, that by diffusion of education they might become better subjects and public servants, and that the reputation of the state be advanced thereby. Such a sweeping promulgation stood as all world first. How many people in the education system, government system, know about it? It is all world first. And it is this Rani who promulgated it. And though the land of its birth has not really given it much importance, it is there in the UNESCO. UNESCO has given importance to it, and it is put there in the UNESCO. And when 200 years of the promulgation came in Delhi, in the India International Center, there was a 1.5-day seminar, international seminar. I also attended the seminar, and the chief guest was the Mr. Ansari. And he came, and it was a very big affair. But in Kerala, in Thiruvananthapuram, not even a leaf moved because of this. Not even a leaf. Completely ignored. But this is how it was. Attention was bestowed on the hardships of women, tax relief, impetus to coffee cultivation, codes of conduct of officers of law, improvement of waterways, all progressed. Tobacco smuggling was sternly dealt with. Another important thing is that women were allowed to use upper garment. All women. They are the only upper class women were using the upper garment, but here upper garment was allowed for all women, and also gold and silver jewelry were also. These are all, you may think it is all very silly, but in those days they were all very significant socially revolutionary steps. A very important thing is the Parvati Puttanar. Those of you who have any connection with Thiruvananthapuram, or who have gone to Thiruvananthapuram, or who are from Thiruvananthapuram, would know about Parvati Puttanar. It is a canal. And a canal, like many man-made canals, this was during her time that this man-made canal was made to connect commerce and travel of human beings through waterways. If that is developed, we can still save a lot of traffic on our roads, even now. Because this Puttanar, from Puttanar it connects and goes on and on and on up to Cochin, backwaters. And Parvati Puttanar, though people talk about Parvati Puttanar, they do not, I think, may not know that the name comes from Parvati Ude Pudiya Ara, Parvati Gowri Parvati Bayi. Parvati Ude Pudiya Ara is Parvati Puttanar. It is in a terrible state of pollution. They did try to clean it up a little, but I think it has gone back. I don't know, I hope not, but I have a horrible feeling it has gone back. While on this subject, I have to mention something. Something which the Queen did. Queen Rani Gowri Bayi did, which is relevant in this context. Because I'm standing here in Kottayam in the CMS College. It is this Queen who sanctioned CMS College. This Queen. There it is. It's a part of the thing which we have got that you can read. I'm not reading it. And rupees 20,000 panam, Travancore panam, 20,000, which had come to her in another way. She said, I do not want this, I shall donate this, and that 20,000 panam was also donated to the CMS College by her for running the seminary. The 20,000 is for the running of a seminary. And slide 20, the next one, Bailey, that's there also. And there is another one here. Again, during her time, tax exemption was sanctioned for Benjamin Bailey, Father Benjamin Bailey, for his bungalow. Oh, that's Bailey.
Benjamin Bailey is here.
Okay. Right. Put a photo on it. Okay. So for him, that was done. Those are all on record. I repeat, it was during the time of Rani Gowri Bayi. The next, then the last on our list today, do I hear a sigh of relief? I don't know. Because that's the last, Aswathy Thirunal. So I'm coming to Aswathy Thirunal, and with Aswathy Thirunal I will be winding up. My throat has been behaving reasonably well. I do not know when it will go on strike. So I don't want to risk it also too much. So Aswathy Thirunal was, of course, I think most people know about Aswathy Thirunal. So Aswathy Thirunal Ramavarma, 1829 to 1846. He was among the most famous rulers of the modern age, and even now he enjoys international exposure. I'm just going point by point for the sake of brevity. Garbha Shriman. He was known as Garbha Shriman or Shriman in the Garbham, king while in the womb. I remember that during a quiz program where they were selecting Miss Malayalam to represent in America or somewhere, the quizmaster asked one of the competitors, one girl, she came from Kozhikode, I think. They're all contestants for this. He asked, Garbha Shriman, many of them said they are going for a Malayalam conference in America. Many of them said, Enikku Malayalam nannayittu ariഞ്ഞുകൂടാ. First, then this lady, Garbha Shriman, fortunately she did not say it is a gynecological disease. All she said was, I don't know. Thank God for that. Now, Aswathy Thirunal was known as Garbha Shriman because before he was born, Colonel Munro informed the Viceroy that a baby boy has been born to the Queen. He was not born at that time. At that time, the Dalhousie's doctrine of lapse was operational, and there was a fear that if it was not a boy who was there to succeed, the British government might annex. But of course, in this case, it was, I think, a little misguided because for us, it is not the boy, it is a girl it's matrilineal, Marimakatayam. But anyway, so he informed that a boy has been born. She has not given birth. He went outside the temple and he said, Lord, I have said this for your family, for your people. Please see to it that a baby boy is born and not a baby girl. And if a baby boy is born, I will make so many offerings. But if it is a girl, I will show my rage. But anyway, it was a boy. So even before he was born, he was king. He came born as a king. And then Monroe kept his word. And even today, those of you who have gone to the Padma Swami temple and have witnessed the Shiveli processions, you will find that behind the Vahanams, there are some umbrellas taken. Some of them are gold, some of them are silver. And one flat gold umbrella with green hanging beads was the one which was submitted by Monroe to Padma Swami, along with a cow and a horse and money for one payasam. All these things he did. That koda, that Swarna koda is very much in use during that time. So anyway, that is Garbha Shriman. And so many omens and astrological predictions were there, showing that Monroe is going, Aswathy Thirunal is going to be a very famous person. And that was really true. To go into detail about this multifaceted personality would be impossible due to two reasons. One, paucity of time, and the other, the possible attention span of a captive audience should not be tried too much. So I do not want to, expand on it except touch. First, education. Maharaja's free school. Maharaja's free school was established. Later years saw it being transformed to the Maharaja's College and then now to the University College. What is today the University College was the Maharaja's. Actually, that's a much nicer building, this one. It's got a character. Had become very large spread, and even 1 year before Macaulay's Minutes of English Education became operational all over India, Travancore had already introduced it. Astronomy. The Maharaja's interests were far-flung and multitudinous. For example, astronomy. He acquired microscope, pinhole camera, and user's manual for his personal use. In 1837, under the supervision of Mr. Kalladikota, an Englishman, Kalladikot, who was an Englishman, he set up an observatory equipped with the most sophisticated instruments available in the West. This observatory, or Nakshatra Banglava as it is called, is very much functional. Even now, it is opposite the Kanakunda Palace. The findings from here were shared with the Western world. A second one was set up in Agasthyakudam hill range at the same altitude under Mr. A.J. Brown, but it has ceased to be. One interesting thing is that the magnetic equator was discovered to pass through Travancore because of all this, information that was gathered. And perhaps that is one reason why much later ISRO came to be established here, because of this magnetic equator, and it's near the seashore also. Manuscripts. Collection and transcription of rare manuscripts was a real service to posterity. They form a huge part of the Oriental Manuscripts Library, to which they were donated by the palace. Beautiful manuscripts. Some of them have got ivory work, some of them are gilded, some of them are colored. Oh, it's fantastic. So the Maharaja's own handwritten manuscripts in Sanskrit, beautiful handwriting, a language he excelled in. He excelled in Sanskrit, are also forming a part of this priceless collection. The Maharaja's contribution to state was holistic, and his reforms including doing away with certain cruel punishments like Mukali Katti Adikiya, Kaimukku, Shujindra Kaimukku Satyam, all these things were put an end to. Pendangala Tala Mottediche Pendangala Nardikiya, all these things were stopped. They were benign reforms. Then he had the zoo, Kashi Banglava, menagerie with rare birds, beautification of city with trees, shrubs and flowering plants, government press, dairy farming, all these are to his credit. In this case, when talking of the zoo, I must make mention of one thing. Aswathy Thirunal had a sort of a penchant for the unusual or exotic. Many of you must be having pets at home, but I don't think anybody would have had such a pet. His pet, one of his pets, was a real live rhinoceros. And this rhinoceros was tied in what is today known as the Kottayam complex, which still remains with us. It was tied there, and it was fed every day with so many gallons of palpayasam from Padmanabha Swami temple. Padmanabha Swami temple palpayasam was very famous, so every day it was fed with palpayasam. Then he had a parrot, which he taught to sing a slogam. So every morning when he gets up, the parrot will sing Pujanti Rama Ramedam Madhura Madhuraksharam. That Valmiki Rana, the 4 lines that parrot will sing to him. He taught it. And his court was a meeting place of international interest. To this court came not only the British, the white man, the Chinese came, Arabs came, men from the dark continent came, and they all came, they all had something special to say, something special to exhibit. Otherwise it is not possible. And it was a meeting place for international art and expertise. In the area of health, setting up of Western type hospitals in many parts of the state, upgrading the Thaikad dispensary in Trivandrum into a lying-in charitable hospital. A separate wing for women was also inaugurated, and at first it had 75 women patients. A lying-in hospital for women was also started in Kollam. There were many other things, but I'm skipping all that. Then literature. That is a real... He was a scholar and linguist with great proficiency in Sanskrit, Malayalam, English, and many other Indian languages, which was reflected in his writings and in his music compositions. Voluminous works like the Bhakti Manjari, Syanandura Varnanas Prabandham, Upakhyanams, heavy works dealing in depth with Sanskrit grammar, creations in Malayalam, and so it goes on. And the Sanskrit works are very, 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 very heavy Sanskrit. It's not easy. I'll just say one sentence from Bhakti Manjari. Anandamrita sara sandadimaya swararya murdha abhishiktatmannam bhujanapate charanayor natva muhusadaram. Like that it goes. It is not simple Sanskrit. It is very heavy, very, very heavy Sanskrit. And he was top in that. In fact, I would like to tell you one thing more. T. Ganapati Shastri. T. Ganapati Shastri was the curator of the manuscripts library and manuscripts. He was a very great scholar, and he conducted an exhaustive study of one of Swati Thirunal's works, Bhakti Manjari, which I just quoted. And he was awarded a doctorate for the same from the, I don't know how to pronounce this word. If somebody knows German, please tell me. Tübingen University in Germany. Tübingen University in Germany. Though now rarely remembered, he held the distinction of being the first Indian to have been awarded a doctorate from a foreign university. In 1886, this king had in his name a beautifully handwritten Bala Sahitya manuscript. Annokke Bala Sahitya okke athra onnu ariyan vayya. Kathakali literature was also dealt with by him. Music. Swati Thirunal was famous as the prince among musicians and the musician among princes. Staggering number of compositions for classical renderings, dance music, especially Mohiniyattam, which he propagated tremendously, slokas, wide range of writings which he did. Vraja Bhasha, Canaries, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu. he was a linguist and he was able to compose, and for music also he was composing in all these languages. That is a little more difficult. Concerts and dance forms were part and parcel of this royal court. Famous names like Shatkala Govinda Mara, Meru Bhagavatar, who introduced Harikatha Kalakshepam in Kerala. It is Harikatha Kalakshepam is popular. It is he who brought it. And the famous Nalvar, Tanjavur Nalvar, that the quartet, that is, I'm sure many of you have heard about them, Vadivelu, Chinnaya, Ponnaya, Sadashivam. They came from Tanjavur and they were top favorites of Maharaja Aswathy Thirunal. And they were very, very good in classical music compositions and all that. One day, Swati Thirunal, I was a little displeased with one of them, with Vadivelu himself. Vadivelu was a chief. With Vadivelu for some reason or other, and Vadivelu was very upset. So that night he wrote a composition, he wrote a Varnam. And next morning he requested that he may be given permission to render that Varnam in court. So Adnan said, yes, you may sing. And when he rendered it, it was a very beautiful Varnam praising Swati Thirunal Maharaja. It was full of praise for Swati Thirunal. He heard it through and then he said, it is beautifully written and beautifully rendered. You have done a very good job, but you will not sing it again, ever. So he said, why? Why Maharaja, why can't I sing it? And then he said, Naraseva Venda, Naraseva Venda, Narayana Seva Madi. So he said, so if you want to sing this, take my name away, substitute it with the name of God and write it. And that is how it was subsequently written. And Vadivelu was gifted with an ivory violin. A violin was introduced into classical, South Indian classical music by Swati Thirunal. Till that time, violin was not there. A violin to Vadivelu, it is very much there in Tanjavur. He has a house, his descendants have a house near the Brihadishwara Kovil, and this is a prized possession there. It's a treasure. And Swati Thirunal himself was a vocalist, instrumentalist, composer, music appreciator, everything. And in the court, they were the Mulamoottil Bhagavatam. He had brought in his own team of musicians. That is in the background is the back wall of the Navaratri Mandapam, where every year the Navaratri festival takes place. The Mulamoottil Bhagavatam, they were his own personal group of musicians who would perform for him every day. No disciples. Whether it was Shyama Shastri or Dikshidhar or Tyagaraja, they all had their own set of disciples who would popularize their music. In Swati Thirunal's case, being the Maharaja, he had no disciple. So there was nobody to popularize his kritis or anything, but subsequently it has come up in a very big way, and even festivals on Swati music are held even as far away as USA. It has come up in a very big way. And in those days, it was customary, when you compose something, somewhere in that composition, the name of the composer will come. Tyagaraja, Shastri, whatever it is, that name will come. In Swati Thirunal's case, his composition, not even one carried his name. Not even one. Swati Thirunal passed away at a lamentably young age of 32 after an incredibly action-packed reign, which not only transformed the state, but which could really be called superhuman. Like his birth, when he came as king, his demise also has something unusual. Swati Thirunal was ailing, his health was very bad. One morning, early morning, the high priest went to open the door of the Sri Kovil of Padma Swami temple, and as he opened it, he got a terrible shock because inside the Sri Kovil, next near the feet of the reclining figure of Padmanabha Swami, he saw Swathi Thirunal with folded hands. Now this is an impossibility in two ways. One, we cannot enter the Sri Kovil. Two, the keys are with the high priest, and Swathi Thirunal was very ill also. And as he stood there stunned, looking at this figure in the clear, dim hours of morning, the early morning, pre-dawn hours, the strains of music which are played when a Maharaja passes away were heard. It is called Dukkha Khandaram in Bihari. And then he looked again and the figure had disappeared. It is believed that exactly at that time that his soul left his body. Now, the Shankha Mudra, that is the insignia of the Travancore royal family. And before that, Swathi Thirunal built what is known as the Kudra Maliga, his palace where he stayed just for about 1.5 years. And these are the two. And the top reach has all these houses. That is why it is called, it's a beautiful building, and it is there that the museum is run now. With the Delanois Thoka, the ivory throne, the crystal throne, the Tekkan Chitta Kathakali, all those things are there in Thiruvananthapuram. Inside the fort, it is called Puttan Maliga or Kudra Maliga. This is where Swathi Thirunal lived till he passed on to the feet of Bhagavan. That is Kudra Maliga. It's a very big attraction. Now I have something very, very good to tell you. Very happy news. I'm sure I'm going to get a big clap for that. I've come to the end of my presentation. And I stop now with that because it is not possible to So thank you very much, and please forgive me if I have trespassed on your patience in any way, and all those who are connected with it, and of course our Father Abraham, he makes it fast all the time. So everybody, all the very best. May God's blessings be with all of you, and of course the little children. God bless, God bless, God bless.
Thank you. And we can be there and
Princess Gowri Bhai, that was a very informative information, and I'm a person who is interested in history. I want to ask you something that you may be able to share with the people here and also for myself. I'm a student of University College, Thiruvananthapuram, and you mentioned that one in your talk. And for younger guys, whenever I pass through that institution, I bow my head because that has created me someone who is very useful, at least in America. I'm trying to make that happen in India. My question is this one. I'm a professor emeritus with the Texas A&M University. So this is my question. I have heard that the state of Travancore had invited Einstein sometime to come and the VC of Kerala. So you can imagine the power of that one for a state in India to send an invitation, and that is very, very stimulating, powerful, and I was wondering, would you be able to clarify that one?
That is true. That happened during the reign of the last king to reign, Chitra Thirunal Maharaja, and he ruled as Maharaja from 1924 to 1950 as Maharaja and then as Raj Pramukh. It was during his time as Maharaja when the university was, Travancore University came into existence in 1937, and Einstein was invited to chair the physics chair, and he was offered a princely salary of rupees 8,000. Unfortunately for us, he chose to go to South America or somewhere else, and he did not come, but this is true.
I am a retired principal and Professor Dr. Pramod Ji from NSS College, 5 different NSS colleges. I have also experienced about 15 years experience in CMS College as external examiner in MSc Chemistry. Yeah, good luck, dear principal. My question is, being a postdoctoral fellow still now in environmental science, you had little bit mentioned in your talk about pollution, something like that. I am sure that Rani Sethu Lakshmi Bayi constructed KK Road, and some of the kings and queens definitely have some standing ambition regarding the pollution concept, and only because of that, even now the atmosphere and street in Thiruvananthapuram is full of greenery. Please mention something about that.
Pollution is a curse today. With the increase of the use of plastic and all sorts of things, rubbish, however much administration, whether it is a monarchy, whether it is a democracy, whatever it may be, it may do, unless the people also have a civic sense, it is very, very difficult to keep something going clean. Yes, Parvati Puttanar was stinking and filthy, and they were able to clear a part of it some time back, but within a short time it became polluted again because people throw things like that. For your information, Thiruvananthapuram was at one period of time, I think that's again during my uncle Thirunal's reign only, the cleanest city in India. And I cannot say that the same now. I don't know. It depends on the people and the government to see. You must have a commitment to your own place. I can keep my ground clean, but I throw my rubbish into my neighbor's house. Can't be done. It actually happened. Some person brought 2 big sacks of rubbish and waste and was going to fling it into our compound. It so happened at the back, so we won't see. It so happened my son Aditya was there and he got them. And he made them take it back. But the attitude is that. So hygiene and cleanliness are very, very necessary. Cleanliness is next to godliness. But it's a big challenge.
ഞാൻ വേദസ് കുമാരനെല്ലൂർ ലീല സ്കൂൾ വിദ്യാർത്ഥിയാണ്. അമ്മ കോളേജ് തലം മുതലാണ് ഔപചാരിക വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിലേക്ക് കടന്നത്. അതുവരെ കൊട്ടാരത്തിലായിരുന്നല്ലോ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം. ആ ചെറുപ്പകാലത്ത് മാതാപിതാക്കൾ, ഗുരുക്കന്മാർ എന്നിവരുടെ ചിട്ടകൾ, പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട അമ്മാവനെ കുറിച്ചും ആ ചെറുപ്പകാലത്തെക്കുറിച്ചും വിവരങ്ങൾ പങ്കിടാമോ?
ഒരു വാചകത്തിൽ ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചോദിച്ചു, ഒറ്റ ശ്വാസത്തിൽ. ആ ഒറ്റ ശ്വാസത്തിലേക്ക് അതുപോലെ മറുപടി പറയാൻ അറിയാൻ വയ്യെങ്കിലും ആദ്യത്തെ കാര്യം പറയാം. ഞങ്ങളുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം, വിദ്യ അഭ്യസിക്കുക എന്നുള്ള വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം എൻ്റെ ജ്യേഷ്ഠത്തിക്കും എനിക്കും എൻ്റെ അനുജൻ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ വലിയ തമ്പുരാൻ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് 3 പേർക്കും ഞങ്ങൾ പഠിച്ചത് മുഴുവനും കവടിയാർ കൊട്ടാരത്തിൽ തന്നെയാണ്. ഞങ്ങൾ സ്കൂളിൽ പോയിട്ടില്ല. പബ്ലിക് പരീക്ഷ എഴുതിയതും കവടിയാർ കൊട്ടാരത്തിലാണ്. SSLC 10ാം സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡിൻ്റെ പരീക്ഷ ഒറ്റ കുട്ടിക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഗവൺമെൻറ് കവടിയാർ കൊട്ടാരത്തിനെ ഒരു എക്സാമിനേഷൻ സെൻ്ററായിട്ട് ഡിക്ലെയർ ചെയ്ത് അവരുടെ ആളുകൾ വന്നാണ് പരീക്ഷ എഴുതിച്ചത്. അവർ തന്നെയാണ് വാല്യൂ ചെയ്തതൊക്കെ. അപ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾ പഠിച്ചതൊക്കെ കൊട്ടാരത്തിൽ തന്നെയായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ അമ്മാവൻ, പൊന്നമ്മാവൻ, കുട്ടി കവടിയാർ വന്നാൽ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞുതരാം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ഒരു 2 മണിക്കൂർ കേൾക്കാൻ സൗകര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ പറയാം. അതില്ലല്ലോ. പിന്നെ ഇത് മാത്രം പറയാം. ചിത്തിരനാൾ മഹാരാജാവിനെ പറ്റിയാണല്ലോ ചോദിച്ചത്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിനെ പറ്റി 2 വരിയിൽ പറയുന്ന വിഷമമാണ്. പക്ഷേ പറയാൻ പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ ഇത്രേ പറയാനുള്ളൂ. പത്മനാഭസ്വാമി കഴിഞ്ഞ് എല്ലാം ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് പൊന്നമ്മാവൻ തന്നെ ആയിരുന്നു, ആണ്, ഇന്നും. Very smart child.
നമസ്കാരം എല്ലാവർക്കും. ഞാൻ വരുന്നത് തിരുവഞ്ചൂർ. ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കുന്നത് CMS കോളേജിൽ. ഞങ്ങളുടെ അടുത്തൊരു 4 മണിക്കാറ്റ് എന്നൊരു പ്രസ്ഥാനമുണ്ട്. 4 മണിക്കാറ്റ്. അവിടുന്ന് 2 പുസ്തകവുമായിട്ടാണ് ഞാനിവിടെ വന്നത്. അതെൻ്റെ കയ്യിലുണ്ട്. ഇതൊരു യാത്ര. ഇന്ന് 2025 15/11/2025 ഇന്നേ ദിവസം ഒരു നല്ല ഒരു ടൂറ് പോയ പോലെ തന്നെ ഈ അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന അക്ഷര നഗരിയിൽ മലയാള മനോരമ എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ ദിനപത്രമുണ്ട്. ആ ദിനപത്രം കണ്ട് വായിച്ചാണ് ഞാനിവിടെ വന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. എനിക്കെങ്കിലും ഒരാൾക്കെങ്കിലും വന്ന് ഞങ്ങളുടെ 4 മണിക്കാറ്റിൻ്റെ ഡയറക്ടറായ ഡോക്ടർ പുന്നംകുര്യൻ സാർ ഇവിടെ വന്നിരുന്നു. മറ്റാരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല. ഒരു ദിവസം 4 മണിക്കാറ്റിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം.
വളരെ 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 സന്തോഷം. സ്വാഗതത്തിനും 4 മണിക്കാറ്റിൻ്റെ പ്രതിനിധിയായിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ 4 മണിക്കാറ്റിൻ്റെ പ്രതിനിധിയാണ്. പക്ഷേ നിങ്ങൾ 4 മണിക്കാറ്റിൻ്റെ പ്രതിനിധിയാണ്. പക്ഷെ നിങ്ങളൊരു മന്ദമാരുതനായിട്ട് ഒരു ചെറിയ കാറ്റായിട്ട് തന്നെ വന്ന് ഇതൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ. ഒരു മണിയായിട്ടും കാറ്റായിട്ടും ഒക്കെ വന്ന് പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ. ഒരുപാട് സന്തോഷം. പ്രസ്ഥാനം നല്ല രീതിയിൽ നടക്കട്ടെ. വന്നതിൽ സന്തോഷം.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We now invite the principal of CMS College, Dr. Anju Shoshan George, to kindly present a memento to our esteemed chief guest, Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi, as a token of our deep gratitude and appreciation for her gracious presence and inspiring address today. We now invite Bipin Biju, a talented student from Mahatma Gandhi Government High Secondary School, Pala, who has created a special painting in honor of our chief guest. Next, we move on to the presentation of certificates to outstanding student talents and innovators. I request everyone to please be ready. Each of these students has demonstrated exceptional ability in academics, arts, innovation, leadership, or community engagement. Their achievements reflect the spirit of Talks India. We request our keynote speaker, Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi.
Make it a little bit louder. Make it louder.
We request our keynote speaker, Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi, Dr. Anju Shoshan George, Principal CMS College, Kottayam, and Dr. Abraham Mulamoottil, founder of Talks India, to kindly present the certificates.
Names of the students.
The awardees are Miss Tanya S. John of Marthoma College, Tiruvalla, a third-year BA Economics student at Marthoma College, has demonstrated excellence in academics and social service. She received the Thampi Kurian Endowment Scholarship and represented Kerala at the National SCM Conference in Meghalaya, presenting on climate change and the Wayanad landslide. Her community contributions include conducting online classes for village students, organizing child safety awareness sessions, and participating in food distribution initiatives. Next, Master Advait Vijay of Excelsior English School, Kottayam, is an academically gifted student with consistent top performance in international Olympiads for mathematics, science, and English, securing multiple zonal and school rank first positions. His achievements include a zonal gold medal in IMO 2024-25 and numerous certificates of excellence from SOF Olympiads, Beyond academics, he has also earned proficiency awards and recognition in creative and linguistic pursuits such as essay writing and SIT arithmetic competitions. Next, Pavitra Krishna of Leela School Kumaranallur is an academically excellent student and an accomplished orator who has won accolades in science and math fests. She is a talented performer, excelling in Malayalam and English recitation, Akshara Slogam and dance. A passionate reader and gifted painter, Pavitra has also been an active participant in all Talks India programs, showcasing creativity and brilliance across multiple fields. Goswami is a second-year B.Tech Civil Engineering student at the Federal Institute of Science and Technology. Recognized for her strong leadership, communication and teamwork skills, she serves as the campus ambassador for TechFest IIT Bombay 2025 and previously worked as a student partner at Internshala, promoting skill-based learning initiatives. An accomplished multilingual achiever, Soumya has earned several national and international awards, including a gold medal in the International French Language Olympiad and state topper with securing 99% in AICC board exams. Devakrishna Vijay, a BSc Psychology student at KE College Mananam, is a talented dancer, movie and theatre artist. She played the lead role in the film The Cadaver, for which she received the prestigious Satyajit Ray Award. In addition to her achievements in performing arts, she is also a model and represented her college at the International Cultural Program SPIC McKay 2024, held at IIT Madras. Academically brilliant, she was the school topper in her +2 examinations. Mr. K. Harishankar, a final year student of Al-Hassa Dental College, Todipura, has demonstrated exceptional talent in the fields of music and art. He has won prizes in national level coloring competitions organized by Recolsive and has secured top positions in Mridangam and classical music at both state and district level Kalotsavams as well as in KUHS. Ashwin Ashokan of Sacred Heart College, Tevara, is a youth innovator and social impact leader who received a Kerala Startup Mission Innovation Grant for his student-led startup initiative. He serves on respected global platforms such as UNICEF Yuva, the Commonwealth Asia Youth Alliance, and the World Economic Forum's Global Shapers, while also representing India in international forums like the ILO and YOUNGO. He leads campus innovations through the IEDC KSUM conducts UNDP Movers program and has earned national recognition through YIP 6.0, Management Fest Awards and contribution to My Bharat and Huddle Global 2024. Gautam Krishnan B. of Sacred Heart College, Tevara is a dynamic youth leader, social innovator and global fellow with recognitions such as the Mercedes-Benz Bivishmas Fellowship. He has represented India at prestigious platforms including Harvard HPR, the World Bank Youth Summit, and the India-China Youth Dialogue. As the founder of Academy, he delivers AI and digital education to rural learners while also leading the IADC under Kerala Startup Mission. A UNICEF-trained youth advocate, he contributes to UNFCCC YOUNGO and UNDP initiatives and has earned national acclaim through YIP KDIS, JED Paris and the ACCA case competitions. Aman P. John of Life Valley International School for his exemplary academic performance. Congratulations to each of you. Your dedication, discipline and determination are truly inspiring. Thank you, ma'am. For the announcements, I invite the founder of Talks India, Reverend Father Dr. Abraham Mulamoottil.
His Highness here. At the same time, ഇന്ന് വന്നതായ കുട്ടികളിൽ majority കുട്ടികളും നമുക്ക് അടുത്തുള്ള കോളേജുകളും സ്കൂളുകളിലും ഉള്ളവരാണ്. നമുക്ക് തുടർന്നും കുട്ടികളിൽ ഏറ്റവും മിടുക്കരായിരിക്കുന്നവരെ നമ്മൾ പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് എൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ലക്ഷ്യം, ടോക്സ് ഇന്ത്യ. So we are very happy that Highness came here And she said that this was the first part of his talk, and second part will come after some time. So that means we'll have after few months, we will have the second part where the latest developments of the royal family, as well as they have the contribution to the society here. So I'm very happy that more than history, we got more things connected to the development of Kerala as well as whole India. That means he said on the Dutch people when came here, they have seen something very unique to this country and especially to the Travancore. The contribution of Travancore is very big. We have to bow our heads for the developments you have given to that. That is the beginning of the development of Kerala. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Achen.
Respected Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi Thamburati, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty members, non-teaching staff, and dear students. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to extend the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. On behalf of CMS College, Kottayam, and everyone gathered here, I express our deepest gratitude to Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi Thamburati for gracing us with her esteemed presence and delivering such an enlightening and inspiring talk. Madam, your words have touched our minds and hearts. You have beautifully reminded us of the enduring values of our heritage and the depth of our cultural legacy. We are truly enriched by your reflections and deeply encouraged by your presence here on this historic campus, a place that shares with your own royal family a proud legacy of learning, enlightenment, and social transformation. I also extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Father Abraham Mulamoottil, founder of Talks India, who coordinated this event on our campus. Thank you, Chief. I take this opportunity to thank our principal, Dr. Anju Swasan George, Vice Principal, Professor Renu Jacob, the faculty members, and the organizing committee for their dedication in making this event a success. And to all students, especially the NCC cadets, the non-teaching staff, and all guests for your attentive participation. I also extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. K.M. George for honoring us with your presence. Thank you, Chief. A word of gratitude is also due to the media and business groups who are present here today. Thank you. Once again, our heartfelt thanks to you, Padma Shri Aswathy Thirunal Lakshmi Bayi Thamburati, for honoring us with your presence and wisdom today. May your life and work continue to inspire generations to come. Thank you.
Maniskaria, Adeham Buddha Unda, Adeh, the Randu, the guiding of Parayananda. സിട്രസിൻ്റെ ദ ഓറഞ്ച് റെവല്യൂഷൻ അമേരിക്കയിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ ആളാണ്. ഓറഞ്ച് റെവല്യൂഷൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഹിസ്റ്ററി മുഴുവൻ പറയാൻ നമ്മൾ നെറ്റിൽ നോക്കിയാൽ മതി. ഇറ്റ്സ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ് ഈസ് ദാറ്റ് അദ്ദേഹം ചെയ്യുന്ന പ്രോജക്റ്റുകളെ കൊണ്ട് ഒരു 2 വാക്ക് സാർ പെട്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് യു ക്യാൻ ഗെറ്റ് ഇൻസൈഡ്.
ഇത് ഒരു റോയൽ ഫാമിലി മെമ്പേഴ്സിന് കൊടുക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു പാക്കേജിലല്ല ഞാൻ കൊണ്ടുവന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. But I want to share the students and audience this one. I am presenting Princess Gowri Bayi with 4 mare lemon fruit, which I collected yesterday from Kambam, grown by a very enterprising young man, American returned. His name is Varki Pottangulam. But the beauty of this one is, it is a cross between lemon and mandarin. Sweet and juicy. But what I'm going to share with you is going to blow your mind away. Citrus or orange, grapefruit, mandarin, everything that you see today in the market is actually came from this great nation, Bharat. The center of origin of citrus is India and China. Mandarin came from China. And from here, it went all the way to the Middle East during the time of Alexander the Great and before. But I was blessed to be a real reformer in America on this crop. That is, I can make the production and profitability much higher using a process that is very simple and straightforward. And it is an opportunity. Worky gave me this one yesterday for me and my family. Then I thought today I would like to do this one, and with your presence, your permission, I want to present this too.
Thank you. അമേരിക്കയിൽ 1000 ഏക്കർ കൃഷി ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരാളാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. അമേരിക്കൻ ഗവൺമെൻറ് കൊടുത്ത് ലാൻഡ് കൊടുത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്. മെക്സിക്കോയ്ക്ക് അടുത്ത് അടുത്താണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ. അപ്പോൾ അതുകൂടാതെ തമ്പുരാട്ടിയുടെ പുസ്തകങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ അവൈലബിൾ ആക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. സ്കൂൾസും കോളേജസും വ്യക്തികൾക്കും ഇത് ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫ് ചെയ്യാൻ സാധ്യതയുണ്ട്. അവിടെ ടോം അവിടെ അത് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ടോം, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ദേർ? ഓക്കെ, ഇറ്റ്സ് ദേർ. നാഷണൽ ആന്തം നമന അധിനായക ജയ ഭാരത ഭാഗ്യ വിധാത പഞ്ചാബ് സിന്ധു ഗുജറാത്ത് മറാഠ ദ്രാവിഡ ഉത്കല വെങ്ക വിന്ധ്യ ഹിമാചല യമുന ഉജ്ജല തവ ശുഭ നാമേ ജാഹേ തവ ശുഭ ആശിഷ മാഹേ ഗാഹേ തവ ജയ ഗാഥ जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।